Hello, welcome to the Before You Buy video for the Tower Tube Rack. I appreciate you tuning in. Let's go over a couple of things, considerations that you need to look into before you actually purchase the Tower Tube Rack. The most important one is that this rack is designed to be mounted on towers that have what I call dual crossbars. So running left to right, side to side, port to starboard, however you want to say it, your tower should have two tubes that are going from side to side. I've noticed a lot of tower companies are now selling a single tube design. So it would just be one tube that goes across, and then would have your ski pylon on just that one tube. If that's the kind of tower you have, unfortunately the Tower Tube Rack will not mount on that particular type of tower. However, if you have two unique tubes or crossbars that run from side to side on the boat, then regardless of the spacing or the height or whatever, the Tower Tube Rack should mount on your boat. Okay, so once you've cleared that hurdle, and if you're good with the two tubes, then the next consideration is the diameter of those tubes. Most towers are made with either a 2 or 2.5. I believe 2.5 is the most common. And the Tower Tube Rack is designed to work with both of those, 2 and 2.5 inch. However, there are some older towers out there that did have 3-inch diameter tubing, in which case on the order page there is an option for you to add on 3-inch U-bolts so that it would work with your particular tower. So use a tape measure and measure. It'll either be 2, 2.5, or 3. So I know it can be a little tough to measure a diameter with a tape measure, but just kind of eyeball it, and whatever one of those dimensions you're closest to should be the right one for your tower. There is one other thing to consider, and that is take a look at the tubes on your tower and make sure that the diameter is consistent all the way across. I know my particular tower that I have actually does have a thicker portion up at the top. If that's the case, then you will need to do some additional measuring to try to determine exactly where you're going to mount the tower, so then you can determine what the diameter of the tube is at that particular location. So if you are one of these unfortunate people that have that variance, what you're going to do is measure from you starting with your ski pylon and look at 12, 15, or 18 inches on either side. Those are the 3 mounting locations that the Tower Tube Rack is designed to work with. So check those, measure those out, and figure out which one of those works best. The mounting locations, the multiple mounting locations, are there to allow you to work around speaker mounts or maybe a bolt connection or something for your tower. So figure out which one of those 3 dimensions is a place where you would be actually mounting the Tower Tube Rack. And when you determine that, then you'll need to check what the diameter of your tube is, the tower tube, at that particular location. Okay, that was number 2. The last consideration is, are those crossbars for your tower, are they equal in height? I've noticed that there's several new designs out from tower manufacturers that are actually making them different elevations, different heights. Typically the taller one will have the ski pylon, but then they'll have another one that's lower. The way the Tower Tube Rack mounts is I use 6-inch risers to lift it off of those crossbars. So if your crossbars aren't equal and those risers are both 6 inches, you're going to end up with your rack at a hefty slope, which we don't want to do. So it's no big deal. We can compensate that. There is an option in the order page to pick custom risers. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to figure out roughly what that variance is in dimensions. So take a tape measure and kind of try to come across from the tall one and try to it doesn't have to be exact. Here's the good news. If you're off by an inch or 2, it should in no way impact not only the performance but even the look. You won't notice it. But try to come up with roughly what that difference is. And then you want to add 6 to that, because that's the normal riser. So we're going to add that to 6. So let's say you came up and you said, oh, well, the variance it's 5-inch difference. So you need to add 5 to the 6 is 11. And so 11-inch would be the custom riser that you would need to order. Okay, I think we've covered everything. If you have any questions or if something about your particular tower looks concerning to you in terms of mounting, I'm happy to take a look at it. Feel free to use the contact information on my website, and I'd be happy to see what we can do to make sure that this works great for you. All right, let's make tubing fun again. Happy boating.